Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on It Is Late Night America on the American Doofus channel. It is 12:03 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the 19th day of September. And if all goes well, the Defender of Ants is going to be joining us on the program here coming up. A lot of other things to talk about, and we've got some stuff just in case because there's with the internet thing there are sometimes technical difficulties. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Wilbur Powell, how are you, man? Hi, GA from CA. Watching people win or fail. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, BTM Sparky? Again, thank you all for clicking on, and thank you all out there for watching on the different platforms. If you are on YouTube, get into the chat, and um, it's a it's a good place to be. This is a good place to spend an hour or so live on a late Sunday night. Bon Michelle, hello. Um, so while we see if Defender of Vance does indeed join us, if he doesn't tonight, we will have him on there. There's some storms going on up by Chicago. There's some storms going on coming towards where I'm at. So everything could break down. Bad boy Aries, it's going all right, my man. Thank you so much for asking. Blessings upon you. Hope everything's going well for you too. Let's take a look at what's happening breaking news wise. So if something does happen with the broadcast and we suddenly cut off, we probably have lost power or we've lost internet signal. Again, some fairly severe storms coming our direction. Here's what's happening breaking news wise around the mainstream. Axios has Hurricane Fiona cuts power at Puerto Rico and catastrophic flooding. We've got some footage of that coming up. CNN, the relocation of migrants by Republican governors recall painful memories. We're going to click on this and share this real quick if I can. That's the only bad thing about this software. The relocation of migrants by Republican governors recalls the painful memories of the reverse freedom rides. This is where instead of white advocates for black rights were taking bus rides to the South, they were busing black people to Cape Cod. So just something to think about. Back to the let's get back to the remaining stories on mainstream. And okay, so far we don't have Defender of Ants in the room yet. The Washington Post said a Western Alaska confronts damage after a historic storm. It's been decades since they've seen a storm like hit the west coast of Alaska. The unicorn allies see a risk in what the rhinoceroses are doing. And these Trump-backed candidates won't promise to accept election results. That comes from the New York Times. We shouldn't be surprised. They haven't accepted the election results from 2020. Why should we think that in 2022 everybody's just going to accept the election results? It's not. We're in troubling times. I'm going to be flat honest with you, and I've got something I'm going to play for you here in just a couple of minutes that demonstrates that. And the line to see Queen Elizabeth II lying in state is closed. That was 14 hours ago. So the line was so long they shut it off well ahead of the funeral. The funeral is going to be taking place at 6 a.m., so about 6 hours from now, our time. And I'm sure you'll be able to watch it on all the various medias. Hello, Glow Lady. Glow Lady, I'm going to pop you on here for just a second. Hello, Glow Lady.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, it's horrible.
It was cracking up here, and I was like
Yeah.
I was hoping that you could hear me.
No, we're going to have to do this. Would you be available Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's
be on Tuesday.
Okay, let's try to do this Tuesday at midnight. We'll try to schedule it Tuesday at midnight, and hopefully all the internet will be fixed by then.
Oh, well, no, you're not coming here. I have to do it on my phone. There's big time problems with, it's Mercury retrograde to be expected. So,
Okay. All right.
I had sent you information, so hopefully you'll print that out and you can look at it when I explain it to you.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you at all. It is incredibly breaking up on my end. I'll send you a message, and we'll talk offline and get something set up for probably Tuesday. That was Glow Lady popping on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this. This is not the first. This is not the first message I have gotten about this date. This is a TikTok video, as you can see, and let's just listen.
All right, guys. I want you to mark this on the calendar. I got the word. There's a bunch of others like me got the word. September 24th. Mark it on the calendar. Just remember September 24th. If you can save this video and that little tag thing, save the video. The only thing that I can tell you, it's going to be a day you're never going to forget. It's going to be 9/11 times 10. Watch and be careful. All right, guys. I want you to mark this on the calendar.
Okay. Basically a warning. September 24th. And this is not the first warning I've seen about September 24th. I'm not sure what's supposed to trigger. That's this coming Saturday, September 24th. I'm not sure what is supposed to trigger or what is supposed to be happening on that day. But again, that's not the first video warning I have had shared to me about the 24th, with similar warnings, threats, however you want to determine it. Something is scheduled to go off on the 24th of September, and a large number of possibilities exist as to what it might be. And we're going to keep our ears to the ground, so to speak, and going to be messaging with a lot of people that I'm in contact with and see if we can't get a better idea of what may be coming so that we may better prepare. As we always say on here, we don't want anybody to be paranoid. We want you to prepare so you don't panic. And if the extreme far right does indeed have something planned on September 24th, if we can be aware of it and be prepared for it, it would be a much better situation, in my personal opinion. Yeah, what the it is disturbing, stunning, cunning stunt. Almost made a major dyslexic. Hello, Yama. I hope I'm saying that right. We don't know. GA from CA, don't know yet. But again, honestly, this is the third one. The first one, it just had, remember September 24, 2022. And it played like, it played like little clips of videos. And then it just kept saying September 24, 2022, September 20. And it didn't have any warning or any audio on it. Then the second one I got was very similar to the one I just played. We can't prepare for it yet because we don't know, but hopefully between now and Saturday, we might find out what is coming. A lot of people listen to a lot of different platforms, and not everybody that's in Trump's Truth Social private platform, not everybody in that platform are fans or supporters of his. And the same way in a lot of other platforms. So we could get some information disseminating out, and that's my hope over the next few days. And I'm going to be reaching out, like I said, to a lot of contacts. So Yaima, is that better? Is that closer? Yaima, possibly. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. And so far, we haven't seen Defender Vance. Hopefully, he pops into the chat here, and we get him. All right, excellent. We get him on here, and if not, we'll have him on here very soon. So again, I wasn't sure if I was going to lead with that or not, because it is indeed disturbing. But nonetheless, that's what's going around the internet in certain circles. And again, it's not just one guy saying this. It may be a complete ruse. Nothing may be happening. They may just be doing a psych op, if you will. But I just have the feeling that something is planned and in the works, and it's going to possibly be a bad weekend coming up. Let's hope not, but we'll monitor it and see. On 60 Minutes earlier tonight, President Joe Biden declared the COVID-19 pandemic is over. That could come back and bite him in the butt, or the pandemic could be over. Something to think about. Also, we've got, we talked about Puerto Rico, and we've got some footage here I want to share with you from Puerto Rico, if we can. I don't know why we're not getting volume. Maybe there's no volume to it. Anyway, you can see water rushing down and actually taking this bridge taking this bridge with it. This is from Hurricane Fiona, again hitting Puerto Rico. They have no power, total blackout there. President Biden from Great Britain has declared he's in Great Britain for the funeral. He's declared a state of emergency for Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a United States territory, so FEMA is on the way down there. They're going to have problems with drinking water, not only electricity, with drinking water, with standing water, and that storm potentially is heading towards the United States as well. Some other weather news while we are on the subject. Hello, Convoy to Hell. Hello, everybody that's joined. We're hoping here. I was told that if at all possible that Defender Vance was going to hop on tonight, and so we are hoping that does indeed happen. I want to share what happened in Japan today. A 252 kilometer an hour wind, worst typhoon in Japanese history. And here's a look at that with volume.
Greetings to everyone on my daily disaster news channel. The information in the video shows an incident on the 18th of September 2022 in Cashapp, Japan.
Okay, so not only weather in Puerto Rico, not only weather in Japan. We've got, let me get this pulled up here. For the third time this week, a 7 point, this was a 7.2. Third time this week, a 7 point or above magnitude earthquake in the Pacific. This one in Taiwan, just off of the coast of China. Taiwan, of course, in the news as the United States has guaranteed Taiwan's independence, and China is threatening to go to war to bring Taiwan into the Chinese empire, if you will.
Central Time on the 18th of September 2022. Got some breaking news for everybody. An extremely large earthquake, the biggest in years for them over in the West Pacific at Taiwan, 7.0 to 7.2, struck just on the coast of Taiwan and likely caused some major damage across the island, guys. Now, I'm really, really bummed out about this. I had warned right here for the 7 to 7.5 to strike in Japan to South Japan, going as far north as the coast of Honshu and as far south as our letter V in South Japan. Well, you see it hit pretty far south of where I was looking. Now, the magnitude, spot on, exactly what we were looking for, 7 to 7.2. This follows the previous two other 7s, which struck over the past several days. Got a 7 here over at New Caledonia, and a 7.6, which struck right in between the two 7 days ago, right here. Literally right at the halfway point between these two 7s. This now makes 3 7s in the past week for the West Pacific, a distinct increase from where we were over the past several weeks and months. This is the biggest movement for the whole planet in many, many months, and it's focused from Taiwan all the way back down to Tonga. Now, I don't know if there's any video out yet. I'm not going to even go do a search on it.
There is, and we've got it, and we'll show you here in just a second. I want to read what Dutch says here. At this point, even the average public should be able to tell things are in full overdrive, seismically speaking. This being the third 7 this week in West Pacific, each location thousands of miles apart, but somewhat equally spaced out. The 7.6 in Papua New Guinea, the 7 in New Caledonia, and now the 7 to 7.2 in Taiwan. And he says, I don't think they're done yet. He's an earthquake predictor. This is major go time, all hands on deck. Don't be scared, be prepared. So he is an earthquake predictor. And what he says is that the quakes follow the plates, the tectonic plates of the earth. And he's been fairly accurate. And so if you're on the Pacific coast of California, if you happen to be in Alaska or on the Pacific coast of Canada, we have some viewers there too. Hello, be aware, because the possibility of not sevens, but as the shaking happens, the vibrations will go around the tectonic plates. So if you're in an earthquake zone, you already know. Just be aware that there may be some vibrations coming your way. Again, nothing to panic about, but just to be prepared for. Okay, we do have footage from the Taiwan earthquake earlier today.
Taiwan, September 18th, 2022. A powerful earthquake that strikes southeast Taiwan causes bridges and buildings to fall or sustain significant damage. The earthquake that occurred on Sunday was recorded by the USGS as having a magnitude of 7.2 and a depth of 10 kilometers, 6 miles. The epicenter of the quake was 85 kilometers, 53 miles, east of Yujing District in Taiwan.
At take 5, you stay in your car because we're faster than you think.
Okay, hang on a second, because this commercial didn't show up the first time I played this. So I've got one more thing I want to share from this video. Let me get through this ad, and we'll be back. Click here, click here. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for hanging in there with me. And so far, we do not have Defender of Ants, but we got some time yet. So let's get back. I want to share this view. This guy is up on top of a construction site as this is happening.
The strong earthquake followed a series of aftershocks that hit the self-governing island off China's east coast. According to Taiwan's fire department, 3 persons whose vehicle went off a damaged bridge were also recovered and sent to the hospital, while all 4 people were saved from a structure holding a convenience store that collapsed in Yuli.
So quite a bit of damage in Taiwan, and the third major earthquake of this past week. We've got, I believe, yes, this is how legends are made. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Defender Vance, thank you for joining.
What's going on? I can't see you.
Man, you can't see me?
Hold on, I'll figure it out here. There it is.
There you go. There you go. There you are. What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. And yourself?
I'm all right. I'm a little concerned. Do you know anything about September 24th?
This September 24th?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, there are more than one videos going around the internet threatening something is going to happen on September 24th that is going to be 10 times worse than 9/11. And it's coming from the extreme right wing, if you will.
Okay.
So just be heads up for that, man.
Yeah. After 10 years of being into conspiracies, I stopped date chasing because I always looked really dumb. So that's just me personally. I used to get all worked up about days and worried about a certain day, and that day came and went and everything was fine. But I will keep an eye out.
Okay, that's part of the reason I'm called the American Doofus channel, because I like to be wrong about things, conspiracy theory wise.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So you were under a 24/7 incredibly intense situation for like what, 3 weeks. Have you been able to like decompress and chill out a little bit?
Yeah, I went home and I saw my parents and Wanda, if you didn't know. I hung out with my friends in downtown Chicago. I just hid away at their house for a weekend. And I got to watch a few movies, which I hadn't watched a movie the whole time I was out here. So that was a nice break.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of people hate you because they ain't you. You're actually trying to live as free as possible in our society, while there are those that basically enslave themselves in debt. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. Everyone's different and everyone needs to have a house. I inherited a house when I was like 20, 21. And so I did the whole house like 20 years ago. And the house made me very unhappy. And I didn't want all the commitment to fixing the house and making it look nice. I didn't like all that. And so it just added way more stress. And I stayed in a 4,400 square foot house with 4 bathrooms, and I took care of 3 acres. And I didn't like all that stress. Now I go wherever I want, whenever I want, and enjoy my life. I'm in a state park right now on a lake, and I've been to hundreds of waterfalls and hot springs and caves, and ever since I got out of jail the first time in Chicago, I've lived my life very differently from when I originally went into the cage. And I realized that even the people with money didn't have anything without freedom. And freedom's the most important thing. It's nice to have money, but freedom is, people don't understand the value of what freedom is. And I got to experience that again for 2 days in Berkeley County jail. And that kind of reawoken it's almost like a trauma going through jail. But like, I guess a good trauma. And so this jail experience this last time was kind of a refreshing course of how good my life is not being in a cage. So,
well said. Yeah. So I'm kind of hearing that jail kind of changed your life and made you decide to pursue the life you're pursuing now.
absolutely. There's, I'd sit in my cell and I'd watch the sunset over the lake, and the ducks would be flying by. And I was like, if I ever get out of this cage, because I was facing 50 years in jail, and I don't know if anyone has experienced facing 50 years in jail. It's quite a burden to carry on your back, and even these court cases now, it's a burden to carry that. And I promised myself that once I got out of the cage, that I would see as many sunsets and sunrises that I could possibly see.
And you lived your life that way.
I try to. It's sometimes a shit show, just like this shit show. All of this has been like this biggest shit show, and I've been loving every minute of it.
It's like when we all looked forward to when Anarchy Princess came on, or when Lori came on, or whatever, because it was always like, oh my gosh, here they're on. I wonder if they're going to do something. However, when you came on, it was always like, what's Ant gonna do? We knew you were gonna do something.
I had a lot of fun, and all the different players and the characters. I love what this has become. I would have never expected it to be what it is. It's such a unique experience with such unique people. And right when you think that you know what's going on, there's a plot twist or a character change or a new character entering, but he's actually an old character from the convoy. So it's like never ending, the plot twists, and you think it's crazy, and then all of a sudden something crazier happens. And
do you think 1776 restoration movement is done? You think they're over?
Oh, I don't know what. I guess that's a great controversy now, that only time will really tell what the reality is. I don't think this is going away anytime soon. And as much as everyone probably wants it to be over, I don't think it's going to be over, just because I don't know. I truthfully believe that they're trying to start another convoy. They might not call it a convoy, but it's this whole thing, even from the People's Convoy to 1776, has been like a big Enron. The Enron, they formed all these shell corporations and LLCs, and they broke up, but the same players were still playing. They were just giving different titles and different names and different accounts, but it's just this rearranging of people, and it's really just like a big Enron. I know a lot of people make a distinction between 1776 and the People's Convoy, but I believe that it's one and the same. And that's where I think I veer away from a lot of other people's thinking, but that's what I think.
So the same money that was going into the People's Convoy, the same players are basically behind 1776, possibly.
I can't say for sure, right? It's no one really knows for sure, except for the people doing it. But the same players that were in control of the Telegram and the Facebook are still kind of at play, kind of behind the scenes. Marcus Summers and Brian Brossi and Mike Landis, they're still talking with these people. Everyone generally hates everybody in the convoy, but specifically no one hates anybody, if that makes sense. They will generally say that they hate this person, but never be specific why. So we're missing the specifics, and without the specifics, there's no accountability. And that's what we have, is just they're just, well, that person's bad, he had to leave, but now we're together again. kind of like a wrestling match where you think that they're enemies, but they're really not enemies. They just do it for the show.
Right. You
So
mentioned behind.
that's my belief.
Okay, you mentioned behind this. You mentioned behind the scenes, without mentioning names. Talk about some of the people that have been behind the scenes with you on this journey.
Well, it's kind of funny because my views have changed so much since I started the convoy. I was against the convoy at first. My ultra MAGA friend Kelly was all about it. And I was like, don't go. It's a setup. It's like another January 6th and whatever that means to everybody. I was concerned about her well-being. And then she ended up talking herself out of it, and I ended up going. And the people who I left Austin with $5 in an empty gas tank on the way to the convoy. And the convoy was very right-leaning, right? If we're going to talk in right and left, because it definitely was right-leaning. And my friends who funded it were both really lefties, very strong lefties. They were the ones that gave me money for gas, which was an oddity that these extreme lefties are funding me to go to this righty thing. And I really went to the convoy to go after the mainstream media, because although I don't identify with directions, but I was leaning right on the issues that they were going with. So I wanted to go after the mainstream media, NBC, ABC, Bloomberg, Fox, all the major networks, and try to pigeonhole them into a narrative that wasn't that they're terrorists, because I didn't believe that the people generally were terrorists, even before I started with them. But once I started going, experiencing the overpasses.
Okay, hold on just a second. You're saying that the mainstream media is saying that the right wing, the right-leaning convoy were terrorists?
That was what was being sold in the American media about the Canadian convoys.
Okay, the Canadian convoy. Okay, all right. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that we were clear on who they were.
Yes. So, and I believe that the narrative in the American media was to kind of sell that same story in America. So I wanted to go see for myself. Okay. And that was what my goal was. And everyone kept asking how many trucks are there. That was like the big question that everyone was asking. How many trucks are there? Because that, I guess, determines what a good protest is. I'm not really sure at this point what a good protest is. But the amount of trucks was the biggest issue that people wanted to know, or thought. They wanted to know how big it was, how important it was, I guess you might say. So I went ahead and parked my van in the very front. I spray painted "The media is the virus," a very content neutral message, not left or right leaning, something that both the left and the right can agree on. They might not agree on what media is the virus, but they both could agree that they are the virus. Yeah. And I put my camera. I had an extra camera that I was doing time lapses of all the trucks coming in, the convoy coming into all the different rally points, Oklahoma, Texas border. There was two rallies in Oklahoma, Ohio, 2 nights in Indiana, stops in Missouri, or 1 night in Ohio. It was hard to keep track of all the different rallies because it just kept getting bigger and bigger and more exciting. As the convoys got bigger and bigger, it was like my time lapses. My last one in I think it was in Pennsylvania. It was the last stop before Hagerstown, and I put my camera up on the overpass, and the trucks kept coming in all the way to the sunset. So it was a couple hours, and I captured the whole sunset and just trucks rolling in one after the other, and cars, and it was an amazing. It was an amazing experience that people don't see this part of me with the anti-protesting, as you might say. They didn't know that I experienced all those feels of the convoy, and I truthfully didn't like the American flag. I believed, to me, it meant imperialism and war and the conquering of the world. And when I was with the convoy, the flag had although it didn't have that meaning to me, it had a meaning to these people that flag represented freedom. So I kind of came full circle on my belief of the flag, and it was specifically for the convoy and how that flag made everyone feel, because everyone was doing the Pledge of Allegiance, singing the national anthem. And I kind of, after years of activism, all these protests with anti-war protests with Syria and all that, I kind of fell out of favor with the flag, and the convoy brought me back into favor with the flag and with police officers. Because after my experience with court, I was very anti-police. And as I've gone through the years, I've forgiven them, and I'm happy it happened to me. And I've had a lot of good experience with police officers, and the convoy, the police officers were saluting us. I've never been part of a protest group where the police supported you.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
For us, but I remember we were doing laps on the Beltway, and that officer came and he gave us like the most stoic, solid salute when he passed by. And like that sent shivers down my back, just because I don't know, it felt like what we were doing was important. I was freedom drunk.
Sorry, freezing up a little bit. Hang with us here. Hopefully the signal bounces back. GA from CA. Yeah, that was our hope, that we would bring an interesting perspective, and a perspective that you're not going to see on other channels. He dropped off there. Hopefully we'll get him back on here. In the meantime, I will go through the chat. I got a couple more questions. Thank you. Here we go. And there we go. Have you got me? There we go.
Am I back?
Yes, you are. You're back. I think you said freedom drunk.
Yeah, freedom drunk.
Can you explain that?
Oh man, what freedom drunk? New phrase that my friend started using. I don't know how I got this camera but it was a new phrase that my friend started using, and I was around all these people who believed in the same beliefs as me, and there was such a large group of people with all sorts of really cool trucks, and the police were supporting us, and it was the overpasses. The overpasses is what did it for me. The overpasses, people were coming and handing me money and food, and
lost him again. Freedom drunk. I get that. A feeling of belonging to something important. Jingoism has its power. Potent phrase. BTM Sparky, I was freedom drunk too. I loved all those people on the bridges and feel like I was every one of them. I was every person standing on those overpasses. I can, I've said before, I totally respect anybody that is going to stand up and stand up for what they believe in. Too many people don't stand up for what they believe in. They sit behind keyboards and yell at other people to not stand up for what they believe in. But yeah, I can totally understand. It's so sad to see Americans picking sides and ready to fight each other. It's so sad. Yeah, I'm really hoping it doesn't come to that. Yeah, Ima, I'm really hoping it doesn't come to that. Or Yaima, right? I'm sorry, Yaima. But I'm afraid it's going to come to that. The message got too muddy along the way to continue to support them. Okay. I think it's important to have conversations like this. I think it's important that we explore. A week ago today, my episode was, how close are we to civil war and how did we get here? And then this past week, we've had, the former president say that if he gets indicted, that, our country's in deep trouble. People are going to rise up. We get videos going around saying people are going to rise up on the 24th, or hinting at people are going to rise up on the 24th, whether Trump tells them to or not. So, what country is that, Yaima? There are a lot of countries that are ripe with civil unrest, and that coups are common in. And I don't think the United States is immune. I don't think the United States is immune to having a violent overthrow, if you will. I think there are too many people that will never consider it could even happen. And if it indeed does, those people will be incredibly surprised and probably very disappointed, to say the least. Well, the supporters are what kept me going. Can't count the lumps in my throat and tears in my eyes from people lining the bridges. Suriname, thank you for joining. It's always nice. I'm amazed. I'm honored. I'm blessed to have as many people as I do that watch from outside the country, outside the United States. And I'm very thankful for that. So thank you, Yaima, for being here. And let's try one more time here. There we go. We got you back.
Do you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay.
And we can hear you. Yeah. There we go. There we go. They can see you. I
tried to get into a position. I had a nice spot to pick out. I got greedy. I went to the lake, and that was a bad choice.
A lot of people in chat are talking about, what an interesting interview this is, and what a unique perspective you have. And I've got one viewer here that is from the country of Suriname. They're watching from the country of Suriname, and in their country there's a lot of civil unrest and the talk of overthrowing governments with coups. It's hard to imagine that happening in America, but it's a distinct possibility. Would you agree with that?
I believe power is not absolute, and it's always changing, and it's always fluid. So
yeah.
And when you think you're the most comfortable, that's when it could happen.
Yeah.
You lose your freedom.
Yeah, and you're going to lose your freedom because as soon as something happens, martial law is going to be declared, and we all are going to lose our freedoms, no matter who's in charge, who's in power. Anyway,
So, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, man.
What freedom mean to you?
Freedom means the ability to decide what is best for me without, as long as I'm not hurting anybody else. And I don't think we have more freedom here in America than many other places, but we don't have absolute freedom here.
No. I don't know if absolute freedom exists.
I don't think it does. And maybe it shouldn't, because to some, freedom equals lawlessness.
Well, I think where like my little specialty or my little niche is the common law or the law, and there really isn't a crime unless there's a victim, and that goes to your definition of freedom, is as long as you don't hurt somebody. And to me, that's good law, or our right to face our accuser is based on that ability to bring someone onto the stand and cross-examine them. And when there is no victim losses or damages, there's technically not a crime.
Right.
And so I'm very anti-government in the sense that I believe in legal process, and I believe in the judges and the sheriffs having the ability to carry out legal process.
You mentioned court cases. Do you have one or two court cases? Oh, I think we lost him again.
Cases on the 21st.
Okay, you've got the case about, you have two cases on the 21st.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it cut out.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. I had full bars, and now I'm down to one.
Okay.
There I go. I got two now. I have, yeah, they just happen, and this happens a lot with people. I help a lot of people with court stuff. Those dates on the same day, and sometimes they play funny games. Like, you didn't appear in this courtroom. Now there's a capus warrant for you and an arrest warrant for non-appearance. So both court cases are on the same floor, 15 minutes apart.
Wow.
So that should be interesting. One's in family court, which I don't know why I'm going into family court and not a circuit court or a district court. I don't know if you're familiar with the court systems, but when you're down in those lower courts, you really don't have the constitutional rights that you think you might have. When you get into the circuit district court, you have more. When you get into the county courts, you have even more rights. A lot of them, you have to pay for a jury trial in that municipality, in the municipal courts, and you either have a right to a jury trial or you don't. You don't have to pay for a jury.
Right. Are you going to be live streaming your trip out? You're going to be live streaming the road trip? There we go. You're back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, man, it's no problem. Thank you for coming on here. We'll wrap this up. Are you going to be live streaming the road trip back to Berkeley County?
I'm in West Virginia right now.
Oh, okay, all right.
I visited one of my viewers, one of my friends now, and
awesome.
I did a little garden tour of her house, and she was actually an Oreo fan. So that makes it, I don't know how many Oreo fans, old Oreo fans that I have, but I do have a good handful of people.
Well, that's
and
cool.
We will be live streaming. She actually will be live streaming in front of the courthouse. So we actually went over and we did a stream with her new gimbal, and I got her all kind of just set up, and so she's all ready to be filming on the outside. Allegedly, Oreo is going to be there.
Okay. All right.
So, and then I'm meeting up with Jay Met and Lori tomorrow.
Okay. Email me or text me the link to or the name of the channel that she's going to be live streaming outside the courthouse from, and we'll make sure and publicize it and make sure people know where they can watch. And hopefully we'll have you back on after all the court stuff's over, and we can talk about some things that we can't really talk about now. And if you're hearing me, I'm not hearing you, but if you're hearing me on your way back, if you're coming back from West Virginia on Interstate 70, let me know and we'll meet up at one of the exits, and I'll buy you a meal.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey man, thank you for coming on here.
Yeah. You have a good night.
We'll stay in touch. All right.
All right. I will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. The one and only Defender of ANTS joining the program. And thank you all for watching. We will be back Tuesday night at midnight. Possibly the Glow Lady will be on, and we'll be talking some more about the convoys and about what she does with her soul chart readings. So again, thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here, and share the stream. Let people know that we have had a good discussion with Defender Vance. And if you'd consider doing so, hit the subscribe button, hit that like, hit the notification bell. We'll be back Tuesday at midnight with another edition of Late Night America on the American Doofus channel. Peace. I love you all. Blessings to each and every one of you. I'm incredibly